I think there should be some new guidelines. The National Assembly should sit down to take a look at what is required for someone to have a political party. This is not a company that we're registering, but it's a political party. So INEC should be able to sit with the National Assembly to design new modalities to see how they can reduce most of these political parties after the election. If you don't have maybe winnable candidates in 3 states, there's no need to exist as a political party. Because some of them will not even win a council at the end of the whole day, so why are they still there? So the most important is to register most of these parties after the election so that we can have a smaller budget, not a bigger one.
Yeah, a smaller budget. In case you're just joining us, we're looking at the effect of the silence of the National Assembly over the 2019 election budget of the Independent National Electoral Commission. That topic will be on your screen. I hope our engineers are doing all they can to ensure that that topic is on our screen. INEC and the 2019 general election, the silence of the National Assembly, how will it affect the polls as far as 2019 election is concerned? Just a few months to that particular election. Now, you talked about, the ballot paper. We also know that in INEC's budget, there's a particular amount, reeled out for the printing of, electioneering materials. Yeah. Now, if we are able to, bring in innovations, technological innovations, that's money, that has been earmarked for the printing of ballot papers and other printable materials will also be reduced drastically. Yes. I know you agree with me on that. Now, at this point, what will you say INEC should be doing in respect to that?
Well, at this point is to start sending their own staff to go out for advanced training to see how they can come with designs that can eliminate most of this paperwork in the election. It is a paperwork that causes a lot of people to go around and cheat and do a lot of manipulations. So if INEC is serious in trying to have an election in 2023, they should be able to come and show what they intend doing in 2023, because 2019 is going to be a stepping stone for people now to see what INEC is expected to do. So for me, I feel that INEC should be able to send a lot of people for courses now, recruit a lot of engineers and computer experts, and then have a lot of architects who can design most of these things for them. So that by the time we are done with the 2019 election, we should be sure that in 2023, we shouldn't be using a lot of paperwork, except in areas that are not covered by electricity. So if we are sure of what we want to get as a nation, I think we should start recruiting a lot of people now. And more so, we have a lot of universities in Nigeria today. If you really want to do most of these things, I think it's better to call most of the professors in universities today and let them try their hands and see what they can come out as a design. So when they are able to do that, we should be able to have a very credible way of having materials that we can use, and then less money to be budgeted for most of these things. Yeah,
now there are also, areas of concern as it relates to the movement of election materials. Some commercial drivers, commercial buses are always or oftentimes being hired by the Independent National Electoral Commission. That also will take a chunk of the budget. Don't you think INEC should devise a means whereby some of their very sensitive materials should be moved without, engaging public transporters? Don't you think it will help make the process a little bit more credible?
Well, for me, I think it's easier to use the Nigerian road transport workers to release their buses for this election. One, it is more cost effective when you hire vehicles that you are using for an election that is going to last just for 2 days. You move materials on the eve of the election, and then you distribute on the electoral day and then bring them back. So by the time these things are done, you will discover that if you are going to buy buses to not deploy to moving materials, you will incur more expenses. Now, how many drivers will you not have on your payroll when you want to move materials? And then there are some terrains that are also very bad. So you need Okada to go into such terrains to distribute most of this material. Because I remember when I was in Niger, in Mokwa, there were some areas that vehicles cannot go. You just go by canoe. So you don't expect INEC to start buying canoes also to pedal and then take materials to these areas. So the most important thing is to hire some of these working materials they need on the eve of the election and then make do with them. The credibility of the election is not on the basis of those vehicles you hire. Because I have never had a way a bus driver diverted electoral materials to another point. They are always delivered. The question is either they are delivered on time or they are delivered late. Now, the delivery, again, is on the basis of what time did INEC officials get to the police station that is closer to move the material that were kept there overnight. So if we are able to have time ban that material should move from the police station at this particular time, or INEC live very close to the point where the materials are. And then most of these delays will be eliminated.
Yeah.
So it's better to hire vehicles than to buy.
It's better to hire vehicles than to buy. Please, I beg our engineers, we want to have the topic on our screen, please. Our engineers, please, want to have the topic on our screen, please. Thank you very much. I know you're trying. All right, let's look at some of the costs. You know, there are electoral operational costs, which is going to cost 134.4 billion naira. That will amount to the procurement of sensitive and non-sensitive materials, payment of allowances, logistics, voters registration, printing of voters card, and all of that. That is also embedded in the budget. Please, if the engineers are listening to us, please want to have the topic on the screen. Please, let's have the topic on the screen. If you are listening to us, please, let's have the topic on the screen. Thank you. All right, with all of this, buying of all of these sensitive materials. Now, what will you advise INEC at this point to be doing? What should we advise INEC to be doing? Because if you have this at the back of your mind, you also know that there are electioneering processes in the past, which we have almost the same process over and again. Is this how we are going to continue?
Yes, for the purpose of having a credible election, where people are not doubting, it's better to buy these things as elections are approaching. Nigerians are in a hurry to complain, and if you not acquire these things and store in a warehouse, they will tell you that you have already done with your results. That is why you acquire them before the election. If you want to have them a year before the election, they will still complain. The elections are 1 year away. Why are you having budget now to buy most of these electoral materials? So the most important thing to avoid these accusations against INEC, it is better to purchase these things when the elections are about to be conducted, so that every political party will be satisfied with the process. And the civil societies also, in most cases, are involved in the purchase of most of these things, so that they monitor to see that the source where these things are coming from is also a credible source. And then the contractors are those that are not seen to be in tune with one political party. So for me, buying these materials in advance is not a good thing, but it's better to buy them every year as elections are approaching.
Don't you think that will amount to wastage of funds?
Well, it's not waste of funds, it's trying to play safe, because as I said, if you acquire these things and keep, assuming you have ballot papers now printed ready and you keep them, you know that you have over 90 political parties now. Will you go back and start printing new ones?
Must all the new political parties participate in the forthcoming election? Well, is there any law, making it mandatory for them to participate? Like you rightly said, some of them might not even win a council seat. So is there a law that says that because you have been registered, you must participate in the forthcoming election? Well,
if you have a candidate that is contesting on your political party, it therefore means you must appear on the ballot paper. So you are going to participate in the election. It's only when you don't feel a candidate at all that you can't be on the ballot paper. So it is a must that once you are registered and you have a candidate, you must be on the ballot paper. So you cannot disenfranchise some people because they decide to choose a political party that is not too popular. So the most important thing to avoid most of these things is to allow everybody to select the political party that he wants to go to and then contest the position he wants to contest. INEC now, his own duty is to do what? Make sure you are also on the ballot paper for someone to choose you or to reject you. But where that is not done, you are calling for a lot of litigations against INEC.
and that will never stop in our political process.
No, you can't stop. You can't stop.
So the question now, from your point of view, the question now is, when are we going to have a seamless election? When is it possible for us to have a seamless election? As we speak, the tribunal handling the Ekiti governorship election, has already been, been inaugurated, and they've started sitting to look into the petition filed, by the PDP governorship candidate, talking about the Professor Kolapo. When are we going to have a seamless election that people will just go back and say, okay, the election has come and gone, let's prepare for the next 4 years?
Well, election is going to be difficult to say you are not going to have an electoral process where people will not be complaining about. If you look at the last election in U.S., the almighty America, where everybody now uses as a model for democracy, you discover that the Democrats are complaining that the results were influenced from Russia. And till today, you see them doing a lot of investigations to unravel who and who was part of those that were used in trying to influence elections. In Nigeria here, no matter what you do, people will still complain that your process is cumbersome, is not region is not too straightforward, it's not clear. It has given room for a lot of manipulations, and that's why he or she lost election. In Ekiti, I wasn't there, so I don't want to comment because already it's a thing that is in court.
Yeah.
But when you go to electoral processes that are always in court, you discover that most of them are from the south. It's always very hard, but it's the truth. There are most people who are not satisfied with the process are those from the south. When elections are over, majority of the cases that are going to tribunal are the ones that come from the south and the middle part, the middle belt.
But Buhari went
Nigeria.
to court. In
No, I am not
Jaraba.
saying not don't go, but I'm saying most of this go is from the south. So you cannot eliminate a process where people will challenge it in court. And where that process is not done, it means there's something wrong with our IQs also. Because you can't say INEC as an organization is going to satisfy over 180 million Nigerians in trying to provide services for electoral processes. So people must still sit somewhere and complain. Those who win will be happy with the process. Those who lose will not be happy with the process. So, and that has been the case. If a court gives a judgment against another person, that one tells you that the court robbed him or her of the seat. And then this one will be saying it's a laudable judgment for democracy, it's entrenching democracy. So in Nigeria, it depends on the position the thing suits you. If it favors you, it's a good thing. If it doesn't, it's a bad thing. But by and large, I think in 2023, next we'll be able to give us a result that will be near perfect.
Okay, let's look at the whole process all over again as it relates to the 2019 general elections and also the preparation of INEC. We saw some high level of vote buying in Ekiti State and some other House of Reps and State Assembly election in Bauchi and Katsina and thereabout. Now that has become a kind of worry for not just the international community but for stakeholders back here at home as far as Nigeria is concerned. And before now, what the narratives in the public space is the fact that we have inconclusive election. Now we've moved away from that to vote buying. Who knows what next we're going to move into? A friend always tell me that now if you need money, you don't have to go to the ATM, just go to the polling unit. You're going to get your money. But that's not even where we're delving into. At this point, with the level that INEC is demanding for its budget to be passed, do you think INEC should be doing anything towards curbing or nipping in the bud vote buying? And if yes, with what technique do you think they should be deploying in ensuring that we don't have vote buying, even in Osun State governorship election that will be in a fortnight?
Well, it's a very worrisome trend, the vote buying. But when you go down the memory lane, you don't discover that. One, illiteracy has played a lot of role into the issue of vote buying because you don't know that you are selling your right and then your future to those who are buying your votes from you. And then secondly, when you look at the agencies like National Orientation Agency, you'll be wondering why are they still existing? Because they are doing little to sensitize the public on the dangers of selling their votes and their rights, because it is your voice that you are going to sell. It is your power that you are selling out. But every day you see Nigeria Orientation Agency is just there doing nothing that they can sensitize the public against so many other issues that they are supposed to be doing. But you have them in all the states of the federation. So if they lack manpower, you have a lot of coppers that towards election, why can't they just request for post the whole coppers to us? Give the coppers what you want them to go and talk to the masses, then deploy them to villages. So they can start educating villagers on the reason why they shouldn't sell their votes. Instead of saying you're posting coppers to go and teach in secondary schools and where they're not relevant after holidays, they just go home. Request for all these coppers and deploy them and then start them to go out and then do the same thing to the villagers, those who are illiterate. Now, when you also look at politicians also, desperation comes in. Because those who are in power don't want to go. Those who are outside want to come in. And when they want to come in, they are also trying to see that most of these things are also done. So what has NOA also done to now talk to those who are in power and those who are also intending to come into power to make sure that they support their position in trying to educate people from against selling their votes. Now, poverty has also done a lot of things. Now, most of the states where these things are done is done in rural areas where, one, people don't afford 3 square meals a day or 2 square meals a day. They live on 0-1-0 kind of ratio or 1-0-0 kind of ratio. So if you are in an area where you are having these kind of challenges, and maybe your child is in the hospital, you're looking for just 1,000 naira, and someone comes and gives you your card, I give you 5,000, such a person will be willing to part with it. So the most important thing is that education by INEC to the electorate should be something that they shouldn't play with, because since National Orientation Agency is not supportive enough, I think INEC should create a very robust public relations agency within INEC that can be able to now sensitize people and then do a check on who is going to vote and who is using your card, so that cards that are not used by the authentic owner at the day of election should be rejected by the machine that they are going to deploy. So that if you buy them at the vote and you buy the card you want to deploy for voting, it can be read. So if that is done, I think there will be no point for someone to come and start buying again. And also, back to the issue of the police presiding officers. If a presiding officer discovers that the card you are presenting is not your own, he should arrest you there immediately. And then the police will pick you up, so that you don't tell him how you acquire the card. And then in that process, maybe someone who finances will be buying it on his behalf, and how many you have. So when you reach to the person who is buying, you may pardon the person who is using the card, but arrest the person who financed it. Because when you take up the source of the finances, then you now discover that it's going to be a big man. So a lot of people will no longer want to risk their reputation by giving out money to go and start buying cars. So the most important is for INEC, one, to design machines that can take care of all these things. Any card that is not used by the fingerprint holder should not be used in voting. Anybody who buys should be arrested. And once arrested, trace the person who financed it, and then the whole thing will start reducing. But where this is not done, it's still going to be. National Orientation Agency should also step up its own campaign in supporting INEC in making sure that they are able to educate people on what to do and why they should not say their voice. And they can use UCOPAS. Maybe they can talk with the Director General NYC to make sure that COPAS are trained by INEC and the NOA for them to be able to go around and pass this message to the rural areas. That is the only way we can reduce this for now.
Okay, now I would like you to, as we wrap up, what do you think the National Assembly should be thinking about as they prepare to resume, if at all they are going to resume, as they prepare to resume? What do you think they should be thinking about, in as much as the election is just a few months away?
Well, for me, they should be thinking of passing the budget on time, one, and then trying to make sure they make amendments to the electoral laws that were not signed by the president, so that those ones too can be signed. Even if we're not going to use it now, let it be in 2023 that these laws are passed. And then they should also hasten this idea of saying budgets are delayed for so long a time before passing, so that most of these agencies will no longer have this kind of delays again.
Thank you very much, Vandy Fan James. Right, this is how much time will permit us today on the show Politics and You. We hope we've been able to bring you up to speed as it relates to the silence of the National Assembly on INEC's 2019 budget for the conduct of the elections. But we just hope that as the National Assembly prepares to resume any moment from now, the first thing that will be on their agenda is to pass the budget for INEC so that they can go ahead in carrying out, all of the activities for a smooth run of the 2019 general elections. I want to thank my guest, Vandy Fan James, for finding out time to be here today. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
All right, so we'll hit the screen again next week, God willing. Ensure you stay out of trouble, and always remember Nigeria will definitely be great again. I am Power Samuel, and thanks for watching tonight's edition. Bye for now.
We got a 24/7 light, we got water, we got the best amenities, and when I don't feel like going out, I just watch TV.
Nice. Star Times, right?
Come on, man. Can you get Fox TV on Star Times? Ebony Live TV? Discovery Family? Please.
Yes, ma.
We get all that and more channels safe. The StarTimes Classic Bouquet Reloaded is the best deal.
The best.
Well, if you're paying over 10,000 naira for a cable plan, then it has to be good.
Thank you, kid. We pay 1.9.
Choose it.
Get the best deals on channels like Fox TV, Ebony Live TV, ST Nollywood Plus, Discovery Family, and much more with StarTimes Classic Bouquet Reloaded for only 1,900 Naira from September 1st to October 31st, 2018. Don't miss out on all the drama, action, and comedy on StarTimes. StarTimes. Enjoy digital life.
If you know fit go internet or follow for Twitter, you know fit snap photo send or get it photo send. That because you dey use Palasa, your phone no dey answer. See me see wahala. My brother, go get smartphone, yeah. Palasa phone. Phone wey no go for your hand, yeah. Palasa phone. Phone wey no fit take selfie. Palasa phone. No be correct phone, yeah. Palasa phone.
My people, no let Palasa phone fall your hand this year. Kia go buy 3G or 4G smartphone or bring that your phone come join MTN and then go summer you with 100% awoof data bam on top every data bundle wey you buy for the next 3 months. So drop that Palasa now, change your levels so that you go fit enjoy fast internet on the network we get data for everywhere for the country Nigeria. This offer dey open to new and old MTN customers.
Gratitude is my attitude. Giving is in my character. The more you give, the happier you are.
Baby, God bless your mother. Baby, you to find past mommy water.
Elections should not be a do or die affair. There's no basis for violence in an election. If any politician asks them to go and do violence because they want to pay them, let them ask them, any politician, to go and bring his son or daughter to lead the violence.
I want to employ the young people in the forthcoming election not to fight. They should be orderly. At the same time, they must be vigilant.
I support the campaign or vote and not fight. Let us vote peacefully and shun any form of conflict.
I like truth and I dey straightforward. My name is Innocent Dibia. They call me Two-Face before, but now they call me Two-Baba. Yeah, we're here in Osun State for the Vote Not Fight campaign. And we're here to just let the youth know that, let them not be used, let them, go out there, get their PVCs, and then, go and vote for the candidate of their choice. you know, and do it peacefully, and you know, so vote, not fight. Election will be war. All right, let's go there.
Did you know that PTV remains the best place to showcase those lovely goods and services of yours? Yes, with our visibility in 36 states of Nigeria and over 50 countries of the world, we definitely have the talent reach. What are you waiting for? Book your adverts now. Call us with the number displayed on your screen.
You're watching People's Television, your people's preferred station, powered by you.
For innovative research-based analysis, fresh news and programs, join us on PTV, the People's Oriented Station, transmitting on Star Times Channel 120, showing across 36 states in Nigeria, and Channel 77 on Strong Decoder across 52 countries. Yes, you asked for it. Now you have the best of television. You can also follow us on our social media platforms showing on your screen. People's Television, powered by you.
Soldiers helping Nigerian forces fight Boko Haram.
We will have to persuade Nigerian legislators.
This is coming together of people who are confused.
Executive order should comply with the law. I personally dissociate myself completely.
From this interview, because you have
said there had hardly been any administration.
No religious body in Nigeria validate the claims by the INEC chairman. It is my name is Femi Anikulapo Kuti. This is just to tell you, beg you, plead with you, don't let anybody lure you into being violent. It's very important for
Tonight, Italian court convicts 2 over Nigerian oil deal. Buhari returns Amaechi. Police recovers an NPC 407 million. Buhari names Amechi Chief Campaign Officer. Hello and welcome to PTV Tonight. I am Lilian Ogazi. An Italian judge has sentenced 2 men to 4 years in prison in the first ruling of a corruption case involving oil giants Eni and Shell in Nigeria. The judge also ordered the seizure of millions of dollars and Swiss francs from the pair, who acted as co-betweens in an oil exploration right worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Emeka Obi and an Italian, Gianluca Dinardo, had requested an accelerated trial which took place behind closed doors. It also paved way for lighter penalties if they were found guilty. The main trial of Eni and Shell for corruption opened in Milan earlier. Both oil companies deny any wrongdoing. Italian magistrates suspect the 2 oil groups used bribes to obtain rights to OPL 245, an offshore oil block estimated to hold 9 billion barrels of crude for $1.3 billion. Of that amount, $1.92 billion is believed to represent bribes paid to London bank accounts that ended up going to Nigerian politicians, including former oil minister Dan Etete. The Nigerian government is believed to have received only $210 million. On Thursday, the Italian judge ordered $98.4 million seized from Obi and $21.8 million from Dinardo after finding them guilty of international corruption. Their 4-year prison sentence was slightly less than the 2 5-year terms sought by the prosecutor. The police have recovered over $470 million belonging to NNPC brass investments and hidden in some commercial banks. Police spokesman Jimoh Moshood said in a statement that the money was stashed away in spite of the federal government's position on Treasury's single account. He added that a police team also uncovered about 9 billion naira. A breakdown provided by the police spokesman showed that 8.8 billion naira of the amount was NNPC Brass LNG Investment Fund that was not remitted to TSA account. The remaining 114 million naira was said to have been recovered from 23 INEC electoral officials in connection with the December 10, 2016 National and State Assembly rerun elections in Rivers State. And now to Nigerian politics. Transportation Minister Rotimi Amechi is back as Director General of Campaign Organization of President Muhammadu Buhari's campaign organization. A presidency statement signed by Garba Shehu shows that Buhari approved the appointment on Thursday. The presidential aide disclosed that a new Director General would announce other appointments into the campaign structure as approved by the President. Amechi was the Director General of the Buhari-Osibanjo Presidential Campaign Committee in 2014. Festus Keyamo had earlier been appointed the spokesman of the campaign organization. Still on Nigerian politics, People's Democratic Party presidential hopeful Senator David Mark is promising to grant Nasarawa State special status if elected president in 2019. This, he said, would guarantee the state special attention for the rapid infrastructural development of the state. Mark said this while addressing PDP supporters in Akwanga in continuation of his consultation ahead of the party's presidential primaries. He noted that the state has been contributing to the development of the Federal Capital Territory, but is yet to benefit from the development of the nation's capital. The former Senate president also implored delegates to the National Convention to vote for an aspirant who is competent and has character to stand the test of time. The All Progressive Congress on Osun State has raised an alarm over an alleged rigging plot ahead of Saturday's election. State chairman of the party, Boyega Famodun, said there are plans to compromise card readers and disable its ability to properly identify real ownership of permanent voters' card. It said this at the APC Secretariat in Osogbo.
First of all, I report for you, Richard. No, I mean, it is not responsible for the current. The rest of our colleagues.
We therefore demand that INEC should allow party agents to scrutinize the verification process in order to confirm holders' image on the card reader machine. For an election that is so critical to the progress of the state and its people, any attempt whatsoever to delegitimize the people's wish should ruthlessly be dealt with. Politicians should play the rules, and the law should be uncompromising wherever there are infractions and an attempt to fraudulently snatch victory. The APC is determined to ensure that operatives and supporters keep alert to help security officials prevent this fraud. But more importantly, this information is intended to alert INEC to tighten security of its votes next Saturday. We hope that the Electoral Commission will act swiftly and keep close watch on the youth corpers who will be in charge of the card readers on the day of the election, because desperate politicians will do everything criminal to win at all odds.
The Transition Monitoring Group has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission to set up its campaign on legal implications of vote buying ahead of Saturday's Osun governorship election. TMG Chair Abiola Akinode Afolabi said this in Abuja. The electoral umpire had announced that although voters would come along with their electronic gadgets, including phones to polling units, the voters would not be allowed to go with them to the points of voting as a way of checkmating vote buying. TMG commended the move, but said majority of the electorate were unaware of the legal implications of such electoral offence. Aspirants seeking to contest on the platform of Social Democratic Party in Benue State have decried the high cost of funds. They say it is wrong for an upcoming party to take. Still in Benue State, now Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom has confirmed receipt of 14.9 billion naira from the federal government. It is the last tranche of the Paris Club refunds. The governor's chief press secretary, Teva Akase, revealed this in a statement in Makurdi. Akase said 80% of the funds would be committed to payment of salaries, pensions and gratuities. He added that Governor Ortom has set up a committee headed by Deputy Governor Benson Abonu to work out modalities for disbursement of the funds. Boko Haram insurgents have burned down 3 villages in Konduga local government area of Borno State. The attack also left at least 7 people dead on Wednesday night. The insurgents attacked and set Wanori, Kaleri and Amarwa village on fire in a 2-hour operation. Villagers said the insurgents shot indiscriminately, looted food items before setting the village on fire. Still Nigerian insurgents, Nigeria's military authorities have again reassured Nigerians that the military is winning the fight against terrorism. They added that the military will not rest until terrorism is wiped out of the country. Defense spokesman Brigadier General John Agim, however, said the military is concerned about reports aimed at discrediting efforts of the troops in the northeast. Agim condemned reports making rounds in some foreign news agency that the armed force is losing the battle against insurgency. He, however, did not name the agency. He said that the report was not true, adding that such malicious articles should be disregarded. The Katsina State Emergency Management Agency said it has registered 731 victims of flood in Baure local government area of the state. SEMA Executive Secretary Haruna Rigoje said the house of 75 victims were completely destroyed. He added that the flood recorded in Maibara district of the local government also left 252 properties seriously damaged and 404 with partial damages. He, however, assured that the agency would provide those whose houses were completely destroyed with alternative plots in safer areas and building materials to put up new structures. Now, according to him, the agency will commence distribution of relief materials to the victims soon. Now moving to Nigeria economy, the Industrial Training Fund has converted its Model Skills Training Center into a polytechnic. This, it says, is to enhance skilled labor in Nigeria. Director of the Model Skill Training Center, Yinka Shokunle, disclosed this at the forum in Abuja. Emmanuel Bagudu has the details.
It's yet another discussed session to curb unemployment in Nigeria, and this time, skilled labor is taking center stage. The general consensus here is that Nigeria's workforce has a very low fraction of skilled workers, a development these stakeholders say is not enough to improve the economy. But the stakeholders believe they have a platform that can change the life of Nigerian youths and improve the workforce.
So the question we asked ourselves while researching and looking for a solution to this problem, the first question was, how do we inspire young people to take up a career in skilled trade and technology? How do we show young people that a career in skilled trade and technology is a very viable first choice? The Skill Fest will comprise of skill competition and industrial exhibition for the purpose of elevating discourse on technical and vocational skills as an important tool for employability, wealth creation, innovation, industrialization, and overall national economic development and progress. The Skill Fest, which is coming to Africa for the very first time, is going to take place at A-Class Park, Wuse 2, in Nigeria, capital city of Abuja, on the 26th and 27th of October 2018.
Former Information Minister Frank Nweke used the forum to make a case for people living with disabilities and internally displaced persons.
This initiative is not channeled at any particular kind or group of people. So it's an equal opportunity organization. And this being the first outing, you can understand that there might be a few things that we'll need to do better the next time. But there's no Nigerian citizen, by whatever way you choose to describe them, that have been excluded in any deliberate way. And so, but it's important that you raise this. And so what it means for us is that in subsequent events or rounds, we would make a more deliberate and conscious effort to really make sure that information gets to some of these, the hinterland, and so that we ensure that everybody gets an opportunity.
For the Industrial Training Fund, its Model Skill Training Center is now a polytechnic.
The Model Skills Training Center is now a polytechnic, accredited by the National Board for Technical Education that you mentioned, NBTE. And like I said, we have 5 different departments. We have ICT, we have FCN. FCN is Facility Management. We have Hospitality and Tourism. We have Elect installation, that's electrical and electronics. And that I forgot earlier, but I think I've remembered now. We also have Mechatronics and Robotics. And I must tell you, what we have in MSTC is 80-20. 80% practicals, 20% theory.
Skilled labor is one major area the Nigerian government is laying emphasis in its job creation drive. Emmanuel Bagudu, PTV News, Abuja.
The National Bureau of Statistics is set to conduct the Nigerian Living Standard Survey. Statistician General of the Federation, Yemi Kale, said this at a one-day stakeholder sensitization workshop on NLSS in Kefi. He said the work would start next week and added that the workshop is meant to sensitize the public. Kale explained that from next week, trained field officers will be deployed to selected households in enumerated areas across the country. He added that they will collect information on consumption, expenditure, assets, and general living conditions over the next 12 months. According to him, the accurate provision of this information will ensure that indicators that reflect the true living condition of households in the country are produced. Still on Nigeria economy, trading activities on the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed on Thursday on a positive growth, with Lafarge WAPCO leading the gainers table. The crucial market indicators depreciated marginally by 0.33% growth. Specifically, the market's capitalization inched 39 billion naira, or 0.33%, to close at 1.858 trillion naira against 1.819 trillion naira recorded on Wednesday. Also, the all-share index rose by 105.77 points, or 0.33%, to close higher at 32,480, compared with 32,375 posted on Wednesday. Lafarge WAPCO led the gainers table during the day, gaining 2.05 to close at 22.75 per share. Investors traded totally of 226.07 million shares valued at 2.34 billion naira in 2,873 deals. This is against the 190.353 million shares worth 1.77 billion naira exchanged in 2,780 deals on Wednesday. You're watching PTV Tonight. Keep up with the news by downloading our app PTV Nigeria on Android and iOS. You can also watch us on www.ptvng.com/live. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Small fish in a big pond, but lights, camera, action, and we go beyond. This is our time, we on MTN Impulse. No, we refuse, so now we can wave our banner. Yo, get ready for what we have to offer from Texas Sports. We got it on Impulse. I say science. We got it on Impulse. Silence the game. We got it on Impulse. And what? Yo, Impulse. The stage is set, so let's own it. They say be this, they say be that, but all we want to be is just us, man. Fact.
Yes, it's warm. Buy an MTN SIM and dial *344# to unleash their potential. MTN Impulse. Learn, play, shine everywhere you go.
Elections should not be a do or die affair. There's no basis for violence in an election. If any politician asks them to go and do violence because they want to pay them, let them ask them, any politician, to go and bring his son or daughter to lead the violence.
I want to employ the young people in the forthcoming election not to fight. They should be orderly. At the same time, they must be vigilant.
I support the campaign or vote and not fight. Let us vote peacefully and shun any form of conflict.
You're welcome back. And now straight to the foreign scene. Amnesty International has called on Egyptian authorities to release people in prison for peacefully expressing their opinions. It also wants an end to the legislation that has allowed the state to clamp down on freedom of speech in the country. In a new report launched on Thursday, Amnesty said Egyptians are living in a time of unprecedented severity amid government crackdown on freedom of expression. Since December, the rights group has documented at least 111 individuals who have been arrested for criticizing Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. The police in England have arrested two 15-year-old boys on suspicion of preparing for terrorist attacks. The local Kent police say the boys were arrested by counter-terrorism police at their homes and then taken to a police station for questioning. Detective Superintendent Nigel Doak of Counter-Terrorism Police South East said the arrests were pre-planned and intelligence-led. He added that there was no immediate threat to the public and gave no further details of the arrest. And in Japan, Prime Minister Shinzo Abe won a ruling party leadership vote on Thursday, setting him on a track to become Japan's longest-serving prime minister and try to cement his legacy, including by revising the pacifist constitution. The 63-year-old conservative secured 553 votes against 254, won by former Defense Minister Shigeru Ishiba in a two-horse race for leader of the Liberal Democratic Party. The win effectively hands Abe 3 more years as Prime Minister, giving him the chance of breaking the record for the nation's longest-serving prime ministership led by Taro Katsura, a revered politician who served 3 times between 1901 and 1913. If Abe stays in office through November 2019, he will have exceeded the 2,886 days marked by Katsura. Russia's Far East region has cancelled the result of a runoff governorship vote in an unprecedented move. This was after claims of vote rigging in favor of a candidate backed by President triggered protest. A local electoral commission took the decision on Thursday after Russia's election chief Ella Pavlova on Wednesday recommended rerunning the vote. The crisis erupted in the far eastern region of Primorsky, where an opposing candidate accused a ruling party representative endorsed by Putin of stealing his victory in the vote last Sunday. Sunday's vote was the second runoff after Tarasenko failed to win at least 50% of the vote in the first stage. Tarasenko accepted the annulment of the vote. And finally, on the foreign scene, U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions announced new limits on the ability of immigration judges to terminate deportation cases on Wednesday, the latest in a series of decisions to facilitate the removal of immigrants in the country illegally. Unlike the federal judiciary system, U.S. immigration courts fall under the Department of Justice, and the Attorney General can rewrite opinions issued by the Board of Immigration Appeals. Sessions, a Republican former U.S. Senator appointed by President Donald Trump, has been unusually active in this practice compared to his predecessors. And in the world of sports, Amaju Pinnick has been re-elected as president of the Nigerian Football Federation. He polled 34 votes to beat his closest challenger and former NFF president Aminu Magari, who polled 8 votes. Former Nigerian international Taiwo Ogunjibi got 2 votes, while Chinedu Okoye did not have any votes. In all, 44 delegates from State Football Federation and other bodies including coaches, referees, associations and players' union participated in the election, which took place in Katsina State and was witnessed by a FIFA representative. And that's all on the news tonight, but before we go, we'll leave you with some small sport news by Larry Ufoma. Please stay tuned.
Hello and welcome to PTV Sport Desk. I am Larry Ufoma. World Heavyweight Champion Anthony Joshua has described a return to London's Wembley Stadium for the latest defense of his title belt on Saturday as a blessing. The 28-year-old Londoner will put his World Boxing Association, International Boxing Federation and World Boxing Organization titles on the line against Russia's Alexander Povetkin. Joshua said at a Wembley news conference on Thursday that coming back was a good thing and vowed to thrill the home crowd. The fight promises to be Joshua's toughest, but since stopping former champion Vladimir Klitschko at Wembley in April last year, Joshua comes into Saturday's contest having won all 21 of his professional debuts, although his last fight against New Zealand's Joseph Parker in March went the distance. It was the first time the Briton would win a bout with a unanimous points decision as a professional boxer. Joshua said he also respects Povetkin's heart and speed, with the only blemish on Russia's 35-fight record, a 2013 points defeat by Klitschko. A crowd of 80,000 is expected to be at Saturday, but Joshua said the burden of expectation remained the same regardless of the size of the crowd. Now on to football. Nigeria has moved one place from 49th position to 48th in the FIFA World Ranking. According to the rankings posted on the FIFA official website, the Super Eagles amassed 1,415 points to finish 48th in the month of September. Nigeria Super Eagles, who defeated Seychelles 3-0 on September 8 to put themselves back in contention for a place at the 2019 African Cup of Nations, improved from 7th to the 4th best team in Africa. Seychelles dropped out one spot from 188 to 189th, while Libya, whom Nigeria face in their next group game of the AFCON qualifier next month, are placed 99th. Senegal still remains their number one spot in Africa and 25th in the world with 1,492 points. DR Congo and Morocco are second and third in Africa and 40th and 45th in the world respectively. Now Belgium have moved to the top of the FIFA World Ranking alongside World Cup winners France. It is the first time two teams have shared the top spot. Roberto Martinez said, who finished third in Russia, have moved up one place to top the ranking for the first time since 2015. World Cup semi-finalists England stay in 6th place, Wales are in 19th, Northern Ireland drop a place to 28th, and Scotland are up one spot to 39th. Republic of Ireland are down one place to 30th. The only other change in the top 10 sees Denmark drop below Spain into 10th position. Germany, who fell from 1st to 15th place in August after their group stage exit from the World Cup, have moved up to 12th. The ranking were introduced in December 1992. Now, FIFA has slammed live ban on 3 officials who pleaded guilty to corruption in a U.S. court. The sport governing body announced that they are to stay away from all football-related activities for corruption. The judiciary chambers of the Ethics Committee banned former chairman of the North American Soccer League, Aaron Davidson, former CONCACAF official Constance Takas, and Colombian ex-FIFA match agent Miguel Tachulo for bribery and corruption. Takas was an advisor to former CONCACAF president Jeffrey Webb, who was banned from football by the FIFA Ethics Committee in 2015. The trio will all also have to pay fines of 1 million Swiss francs. Davidson, who is a 47-year-old former sports marketing executive, pleaded guilty to racketeering conspiracy and wire fraud conspiracy at a Brooklyn court in 2016. 42 people were indicted in the U.S. after the corruption scandal. Now in tennis, British number 1 Joanna Konta has been knocked out in the Pan-African Open last 16 in a straight set defeat by Croatia's Dona Vekic. World number 43 Konta lost 6-3, 7-5 in 1 hour 22 minutes in Tokyo. Having lost the opening set, Konta was 4-1 up and had a chance to serve for the second before the 22-year-old fought back. Vekic, who beat Solène Stevens in the opening round, faces French second seed Caroline Garcia in the quarterfinals. Garcia, the world number 4, beat Russia Anastasia 6-4, 2-6, 7-5 to reach the last 8. Umpire Mohamed Lahani has been suspended from his next 2 scheduled tournaments for encouraging Nick Kyrgios on court during the US Open. Lahani was heard telling Kyrgios, "I want to help you," during a changeover as the Australian trade Pierre Hugues Herbert by a set and a break. Kyrgios fought back to win the second round tie in 4 sets. The ATP has banned Lahani from October's China Open and Shanghai Masters after an internal review. The Swedish will be free to return to work at the Stockholm Open on 15th of October. US Open organizers say Lahani had gone beyond protocol but allowed him to continue officiating in the tournament. After the match, world number 27 Kyrgios said it was ridiculous to suggest Lahani's words had sparked his resurgence. However, Frenchman Herbert said it might have helped and added that the umpire's actions were unnecessary. Now on to athletics. The World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA, has ended a 3-year suspension which followed a major scandal over alleged state-sponsored doping. but the decision has been labeled the greatest treachery against clean athletes. Leading athletes and anti-doping bodies had opposed the move, but WADA President Craig Reddy said the reinstatement was subject to strict conditions. 9 members of the 12-strong executive committee voted in favor of the recommendation at a meeting in the Seychelles, with 2 against and 1 abstention. However, a lawyer for Russian whistleblower Grigory Rodchenkov called it treachery against clean athletes. And that was all on PTV Sports Desk.
People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go, anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV. People's Television Nigeria has gone mobile. You can now watch PTV Nigeria on the go, anywhere in the world. For real-time notifications, just go to Google Play Store if you're on Android or Apple Store if you're on iOS. Search for PTV Nigeria. Download. It's free. It's easy. And now you can catch up with the latest news analysis and political discourse on the go. So stay connected with PTV, Nigeria's #1 online TV.
Hello there and welcome to Kids in Africana. I'm your host Lilian Ogazi. Now today I have an amazing chef and a very short, interesting meal. This week again.
Yeah, this week again we have something super amazing.
Okay, last week was amazing and then this week it is super amazing. So what are we preparing this week that is super amazing?
What we have to make today is called Ikira Nyicho. Now, Icho is a name for water yam.
Okay.
Then Ikira is the Ikira made from Icho. So
what is Ikira first? This is the Ikira made from Icho.
The name given to
sounds like Akara.
Yes, but I don't want to use the word Akara because in my language we call it Ikira.
So Ikira Nyicho.
Yes, that's to cakes made from water yam.